Yes, people, we are back live. We are back live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube for the returning people, the returning Manchester United, Manchester City show. Mandem United podcast meets the Gyal Them City podcast. So make sure you keep all your comments, all your questions, Manchester United and Manchester City related. Please, people, big up to everybody in the comments section as well. This show, backed by popular demand, it is a show you lot have been asking for. So that's why I brought the show back, and obviously it's the Friday edition. So normally it's just the Mandem United podcast, and I'm joined, and it's myself and Eddie. But since it is the return of Gyaldem City meets Mandem United podcast, I've got the whole, you know what I'm saying, the whole conglomerate. I don't even know if that's the correct word in the building, but Eddie, my brother from the best coast, which is the West Coast, is here. Yan City is also in the building as well. Eddie, what are you telling me? We'll start with you first and foremost. You good?
I'm good. Way better than Liverpool feels right about now. I'm doing my thing. I'm making my payments on time. Can't say the same for others, but happy Friday or Saturday or whatever time zone you in. Stay blessed, people.
This guy and the returning, yes, like I said, you've seen her on the channel before, but yeah, this was actually the first crossover show. So before Chelsea and Spurs, before Arsenal, before Liverpool as well. Yan City is in the building. Yes, Yan, what are you telling me? You bless?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Oh, bless. Oh, good. Looking forward to the show. Looking forward to the show. So big up to everyone in the chat. Like I said, see, and I brought Yan City back because, like I've been telling Yan, and she'll tell you, you lot have been asking for her in a what's it called? Asking for her in the chat. So she's here in the building. You can hear her, people. But big up to Amar in the chat. Big up Neville B, Stephanie G as well. True Blue, I see you also. But let's continue to bump up the likes, please, people. Share across all the socials and subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV as well. And when you subscribe, hit that notification bell. We will start with the reigning champions and the favourites. I know you didn't watch the game, Jan, but in regards to the result, pretty much what you expected, or was you concerned going into this game? Because I know what you're like.
Nah, do you know what? To be honest, I don't know what it is about Burnley, but City just oh, we always beat them, and it's always quite a big score. To be fair, I don't know what it is. I think there was a stat that came up during the game, and I think at the time when they posted the stat, it said in the last 13 games we'd scored 32 goals and they'd scored one against us. So it was like 42-1 an aggregate, and I'm sure that's when it was 1-0. So I think it was either 1-0 or 2-0. So it's now it's 43 or 44. And they've scored one. So yeah, we tend to. It's kind of like when we used to play Watford. We tend to have good scores against Burnley, but yeah, I don't know. Like I expected us to start kind of slower than we have, because even like the Community Shield, I know we didn't win that game, but we actually looked quite sharp for City, because normally we start quite slow and everyone gets excited, like, oh, City are not at it this season, and then as the season goes on, we get better and better. But I think we look better than we usually look at this point in the season. So yeah, I'm quite happy. Obviously, I don't think that's the last signing we're gonna sign. I'm happy we've got Vardiel. I really like him.
About it.
Yeah, like do you know what? I've never seen anyone get packed at the Etihad and still impress me. Like, how are you getting beat 7-0 and you're still impressive? Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Yeah, I've liked him for a long time, so I did want him. Excuse me. Our centre backs can't really stay fit, so we needed someone in. He's also very young, so I'm happy with him. Kovacic, he's one of them players that I wouldn't say I necessarily paid too much attention to when he was at Chelsea, but he's one of them where you could tell he was going to do well at City, just because I just think with our team, like, and under Pep really improves everyone. So, yeah, he seems to be settling in just fine from the little bits that I've seen of him so far. So, yeah, I'm quite happy with our signing so far. I don't know about this whole Paqueta thing. He's like ridiculously.
I was gonna say I was gonna say though, even though because it's Pep, I really can't stand you lot and like Pep. Even if it's a player you don't rate, do you not just go with it?
Yeah,
Do you not just go with it because it's him? Because I don't, because like personally, I don't understand the Paqueta link. But if this was any other club, I'd be like, it makes no sense. But because it's Pep, it's like,
yeah,
all
if Pep
right, type
wants
of
him,
thing.
it'll be fine.
Oh, do you have
do you
doubts
know
still,
what?
even
Like,
though you don't rate him? Go on.
no, it's not that I don't rate him. To be fair, I don't really watch a lot of football outside of City at the moment because like I just don't have time. But I know he's a good player, and I know he would be good at Man City because you know. But I don't. I just think the price sounds mad. But the way the transfer window is at the moment, everyone just seems to be going for well over 50 million. So, I mean, based on that, that's why he's now priced at that price. Do you know what I mean? Because I think a few years ago, a player like Caicedo would be like 60 mil, 70 mil, and then like your sort of Lavias would be 30 mil. Like it's just everything's just bumped up by nearly double. So yeah, that's why he's costing what he's costing. And I think we're also well, we've been linked to Elise for a while, which obviously we're not going to get him now. And then Doku, the Belgian guy.
Yeah, I did see that because he broke onto the
apparently
scene
that's
during
why.
the Euros and then just disappeared. Because I remember him being bright
Yeah,
during the Euros. Was it 20? Which Euro was it? 2020. So the 2021, and he was in that competition, and then he just
yeah,
disappeared after that. But yeah, go on, carry on, carry on.
yeah. No, he. I think De Bruyne has been kind of pushing him to come because obviously he knows more about him.
Got you.
But yeah, apparently that's like there's a lot of rumors going around. Like honestly, I do not celebrate a transfer until I literally see them holding the shirt because you just don't know.
Oh, so you
Even
don't do what Liverpool fans did yesterday with Caicedo?
oh
Is that what you're saying?
god.
Is that what you're
Well,
saying, Jan? I
even if
see you, Jan.
Fabrizio, here you go, is not even a here you go anymore. So that just says it all. Because when he said that about Vardiel, I was like, oh, it's done. And then next minute, it's like it's off. So you just don't know. Like, I think I just kind of wait and see until they come in, and then you can't even really judge them in their first year at City as well because sometimes they come in and they're terrible, and then they get better and better, like Rodri. So. It's one of them. I have to give it a bit of time. I think with Calvin Phillips, though, I think, like, I've never seen a player, like, it's not that he's hated, because apparently he's our nicest player. Like, he's apparently a really, really, really nice guy. But, yeah, our fan base are always trying to sell him off. Like, every day you see, sell Calvin Phillips and buy this person. I'm like, bless him. I feel a bit sorry for him, to be honest. Like, I really do. And today,
I don't
like,
feel sorry for him. Man was a part of a treble winning side. He's good.
He'll be just fine.
He's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure he wants to play more, yes, but I'm sure he's okay being a treble winner. I'm pretty much sure.
You need to be worried about if Jack dried out yet. That's who you need to be worried about.
You reckon? Someone said that actually I think was it Alam who said it, like, yeah, he's on the bench, man, still drunk. That's what man said.
Oh god, yeah.
He's still drunk.
He was living life, him, to be fair. Do you know what, though? To be fair, like, the one thing that I would say about the whole celebrations and stuff is, like, it's crazy how football works. Because it's like you're champions and then the next minute you're back to square one. Do you know what I mean? And I know, like, you're champions for the whole year. Like, we are going to be treble winners forever. Do you know what I mean? But
don't do that. Jan, don't do this. You've not felt what it's not to be. You haven't not been a champion in 3 years.
No, I know. But
yeah,
I mean, like, in general, like, when the new season starts, it's a new season. It's like a clean slate. So they have to kind of celebrate while they can. Because the thing is, if City have a terrible season this year and we're like 8th the whole season and we just don't look great, like, that treble, yeah, it's great, but people are going to start saying, oh, was it like a fluke? Like, so these players, like, they kind of have to celebrate it when it happens. So
of course,
I don't blame them, but at the same time, like, when are you going to do a treble again? Probably never. So yeah, I don't really blame them. The thing is, for me, I'd be more annoyed if they were like over celebrating in the middle of the season. You know, if they win something and then it's like it affects the other competitions, but it's like they did what they set out to do. They set out to win the it's weird though, because on one of the Inside City videos they had like you know, like a pillar in the gym, and it had our aim, and it had the Champions League, it had the Premier League, and it had the FA Cup. It's really weird. It's like it was our aim on the wall. Like obviously that's going to be the aim every season, but it's just weird how it was like kind of there, and then they actually won all three. Because I was shocked we won a treble. I thought we'd win 2 out of 3. So
I know you were shocked. You weren't shocked to nobody else.
Yeah,
You lot were like who said this? It was Saint who said this. You lot were you lot were favorites.
Oh god, yeah. But that's
the
what
craziest
worries
part.
me sometimes, because in them sort of things, like when it's weird with City, and I've been saying this for years. Like when we go up against like a Real Madrid, we tend to do all right, but when we go up against like a Leon that we're supposed to be beating, we struggle more. It's just kind of weird how it works. Like if we'd have been playing Real Madrid in that final, obviously that's the last team you want to play. But I actually would have probably been more confident, because I know they would have gone out there knowing they can't make any mistakes. Whereas like I think we didn't play well in that final. That Champions League
No, you didn't play to your
final.
best. Yeah, that's true.
I spent the whole game cussing out these players, man. I was cussing them differently.
Did you imagine?
They couldn't hear me. The pitch was quite far away from the crowd. They couldn't hear me.
Yeah, you loud though. You forget you're loud, man. Your voice travels. But yeah, Eddie, let me add. Your voice travels. I've heard you curse, man. You forget that we know each other. I've heard you curse, but yo, Eddie, your thoughts. I'm not sure. I know you watched some of the games, so your thoughts on the actual game, City Burnley. Well, what are you telling us?
Same old song, man. Same old fucking song that I've had it up to here with, like. And again, I wish the best for you, Yan, and life and everything you got going on. But as for your team, I hope for nothing but fucking misery. I'm just tired. I'm literally tired of turning on every Prem game, looking at a score, seeing City 3-0. It's like it's a formality at this point, yo. Like Haaland, to his credit, like he didn't even need that many opportunities.
Man,
he took advantage of what was given to him. Rodri, you know, the only DM I'll say is better than Casemiro and actually mean it is Rodri, just because
Rodri's amazing.
Yeah, he really is. He really is. Big time player. You know, Burnley gave a good go, I think, as best as they could, but it was just like the level of class was so apparent, you know, like it was one of those situations where even Foden, for not scoring, he had his moments.
Yeah. He had a couple bright moments.
Right? Alvarez was just around. But he didn't really need to do anything because the game was, I mean, it was 1-0 with like 4 minutes to go, right? I think so. Yeah, it was business as usual for them, man. I'm getting sick of it. I really am.
That's legit where I'm at, and that's why when people, I think
that's so good to hear.
I think it's an eye opener for people, because that's why I actually did put in the title also on the Manchester United part, can Manchester United challenge? Because I don't think, because we haven't seen City play in a while, we've not seen Manchester United play in a while, and there's just been no football. I don't think people realize the gap from where Manchester City are at and the levels they're at, and the gap Manchester United are at. Let's say, like I've said, hypothetically City are on paper weaker, and they're not at the level they was at last season. So they drop off a little bit and we improve. There's still a gap, and it's a significant gap.
Yeah.
I would love to be wrong about this, but it's still a significant. Go on.
No, sorry to cut you, but I think like it's interesting because a lot of people are saying, like a lot of Arsenal fans in particular are saying like City aren't as strong as they were, right? Which you can argue that if you want, you can, you know, it's one of them. You can argue both ways, because I think if we do get some signings in, like if we did get Paqueta and Doku, then I actually think our squad's, like, I'm not saying it's better on paper, because obviously Gundogan was such a key player for us, and Mahrez as well, but I do think it's just as strong, and you could argue it's stronger because defensively we're better now.
With Guardiola in the mix.
Yeah, so I would argue it's probably just as strong, or maybe even slightly stronger if we do get them. So it's one of them things where it's like, even if you don't agree with that, even if you think, okay, City are weaker, like you say, it's not even just the fact that Man United might have got better. If you look at the rest of the league, you're not the only team that have got better. So it's like everyone is getting stronger and stronger. So I just think it's going to be one of them because, like I was saying, I don't see Liverpool having two terrible seasons back to back. Because by their standards, last season was terrible for them. Do you know what I mean? So I don't see them having two like seasons like that back to back. I think they will improve. I'm not saying they're going to go and win the league or anything, but I think they're going to be up definitely in the top four, and they could potentially challenge depending on what they do, you know, for the rest of the transfer window or whatever. But Chelsea, another team, like I know Chelsea are a bit of a mess right now, but again, I don't see them having two terrible seasons. Bear in mind, they've got no Europe, so they're literally going to be playing one game a week. Yeah. And they've got a decent squad there. Obviously, they've now got Poch, so Poch should be an improvement. Do you know what I mean? So I would expect Chelsea to do well as well. I'm not saying they're going to win the league. I do think there's a gap, you know, like you were saying, but at the same time, there's no reason why they can't even get top four with one game a week. Do you know what I mean? So
I think for them, it's just goals. That's what I've said about them.
Yeah.
They just goals. I look at their side and go, yeah, where the goals coming from? Like, that's the biggest issue with them. Large up to everyone that's tapped in, though. Just under 60 people in the building. Big up. Only at 27 likes, though. Like check 1212. Let's bump up these likes. Let's go up to 50 likes, people. What is this, Liverpool central midfield conversion rate this week? Let's bump up these likes, people. Let's get us up to 50 likes. Here, share across all the socials. And on top of those two things, subscribe to the channel, Sarcasm City TV. Hit the notification bell. Get your questions in. I'm starring the best questions. Don't worry about that. Please keep it Manchester United. And for City fans who've been asking, keep it Manchester City related as well. So make sure you do. But Eddie, we'll go to you next. Where are you at now? Obviously, the Premier League started. It starts for Manchester United on Monday. Where are you at in terms of what we can do this season? Can we challenge legitimately? Can we just be the best of the rest and finish second? Is it top 3 again? Is it top 4? Are we in a top 6 race? Where are you at with it?
Well, the bar is top 3 as in an end of trophy because of what he pulled last year with the squad that he had. Do I believe we can challenge? I don't think anybody's challenging City because I don't think any team has made the kind of drastic improvements that you have to make to, one, compete with City. And this is a well-oiled machine, dog. Like, they operate at a level that nobody else operates at. They've been in battles that nobody as a collective has been in. So for anybody to win the league, it'll take City helping that other team win the league. And I just don't see them doing that, especially with Pep getting mad at Haaland in game fucking 1 against Burnley. Like, what is that? What does that mean for us, dog? Like, he's getting mad now. Like, he's just building up that callus. So I think we can get second place because I think Arsenal has stayed right about here. I'm not of the belief that Rice is a game changer for them. Their other midfielders, I mean, Odegaard, that was cute last season. I think now they have everybody's undivided attention. So this idea of them just rolling up places, playing their brand of thought they want to play is, I think that's out. I think people are really going to try and go at them because they're seen as a big team. Like Arsenal for the couple, they've been 8-8 5th. You know what I'm talking about? Like, it was nothing respectable. It was cool. Yeah. It was like here's the thing that messed me up. Like, even when we were at our worst, right? Like, with Ollie, we were like what, second, fourth, sixth, like
something like that, yeah.
And we always, you know how it goes down when we pull up. Like, people want to embarrass us. People play out of their skin.
Facts.
And so I don't think that Arsenal collective is like is tough enough. They was out here. You got Zinchenko crying in the car. Who else was out there? Well, Jesus is injured, and that's a big blow. And then I guess we weren't all as lucky to have the opportunity to sign the versatile player that is Kai Havertz. So
yeah, we weren't as fortunate.
we weren't as fortunate.
Right.
Hey man, our manager, their manager, yeah.
No.
I can't with that one. So I just see them not surprising people. And I think the ability for them to surprise people helped them out because people could not believe how good a brand of football they were playing at first glance. Right? Like they made a drastic jump from fifth to second. And so kind of like what we did, right? Remember we got in second place.
We did that, yeah, when we on the Ollie when we got second. Yeah, you're right.
People weren't expecting us to get second place, but then once we got second place and they started being real intentional with how they played us, you started to see some things. So I think we can get second place. I think Liverpool, I need my get back. I don't even give a fuck where they finish at. I need the double. That's what I also need because of what happened last year.
Yeah, we owe them. We do owe them. We owe a friggin' win at Anfield. It's been a minute.
You know exactly.
We do.
And so to wrap it up, yeah, I think we're right in that 2, 3, 4, 5 range. I think it'll take a phenomenal showing by Newcastle to move either one of. I think the top 4 will be City, United. I'll go Arsenal 3rd, Liverpool 4th.
Okay. We got the same top 4. I think different order, but we have the same top 4.
That's what I think it'd be. And then Newcastle in that 5th position. But they always, I think they're in the same boat as Arsenal, whereas we didn't expect you to look how you looked last season, but we expect it now. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with the whole top 4 thing.
That's fair. That's a fair assessment. You're looking at second. Like I said, I think it would be third. Big up to the chat. I see you lot as well. Big up to, let me get to actually, because it's crazy that we have people from all over the world locked in. So yeah, man, I love to see it. Where is it now? From Waleed, who says, big up from Pakistan. That's sick. You know what I'm saying? Man's watching all the way from Pakistan.
Man, shout out.
That is crazy. So big up to you. I know we get watches worldwide because we are worldwide on the channel, but it's always good to see it in the chat. And just quickly from Assad, who says, flawless was Manchester City, Burnley, the worst opening game to start the season. I didn't even bother watching. Now, it was a decent game still. It was a decent game because even though City won and were like workmanlike and efficient, Burnley just didn't roll over. So it was an eye-opener to see where Manchester City are, and it's also an eye-opener to see where Burnley are at. Because one thing Burnley did was they still tried to play their way. Because I was hearing how well Burnley had played in the Championship in terms of their brand of football. And they still played out from the back. And they pressed well.
3 goals or whatever. So
yeah, they pressed well. They pressed well. They were spirited. And they a lot of the time when Edison had the ball, they pressed very well. They was in shape. They were well drilled, well organized. So yeah.
But Company's a good manager. I think they'll do okay this season.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to finish in any crazy position because obviously the competition in the league is difficult. But at the same time, I don't think they're not going to be in a relegation battle or anything like that. They'll finish comfortably above that, I would think.
No, I hear that. Big up to Amaha, who says, I'm watching from Bosnia.
Wow,
I bet you lot don't even know where that is. Europe, man.
Europe,
man.
Europe,
It's Europe, man.
There, you feel me?
You know Bosnia, man. It's Europe, man. Come on now, man. It's Bosnia, of course, man. Of course. Big up to you, Amar. Large up as well.
You know what? To be fair, Amar, we learn about Bosnia in school, the Balkans and all that crap. Plus Edin Dzeko.
Yeah, Edin Dzeko as well. That's what it is. That's legit what it is. Big up to Ed as well, who says, Jan, are you worried about De Bruyne? Yeah, because he did get taken off. Feel like he's slowly heading down the company route where he eventually won't be able to play more than half a season. Are you concerned in terms of his injuries, or do you think it's just a one-off and he'll get fit?
No, he's been injured for a while, hasn't he? Because he was injured at the end of last season, and he's kind of been playing on through it. And then, he heard we were playing Arsenal, and he came back because for some reason he hates Arsenal. I don't know what it is. So he came back for that. I mean, he probably shouldn't have started against Burnley, to be fair. You can tell he wasn't fully fit.
Who would have played in his position if he didn't play?
He probably would have had to play Foden in midfield, or I know he did
Okay.
kind of put, but he put, really it was Alvarez. I didn't watch the whole game, so I'm not entirely sure where
Right.
he played, but I did. People were saying that Alvarez was the one that kind of dropped deep when he went off. So
Okay.
I don't know. Like I think I don't like rushing players back. Like if it's a game like a Real Madrid or something like that where you have to have your best players on the pitch, then fair enough. But I think against Burnley, we should have been able to win that game without De Bruyne.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fair
So
assessment.
I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have risked him, but at the same time, it probably just means we're gonna go more and get like a Paqueta, and like I think we will go and get like an extra midfielder now.
Yeah. You
So
think this
yeah,
injury? You think this injury puts even more pressure to go do that?
yeah, I think so. But the thing is with De Bruyne, like I think he's just become captain, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm.
So I think that's probably why he wanted to play as well. But at the end of the day, if you're not fit, you're not fit, innit? But I think he is 32. He has been getting a little bit injury prone as he gets older. But if you think about how many games he was playing, he probably does need to slow down a little bit. It's like Rodri. Rodri plays about 75 million games a season. It's too
Yeah, it
many.
is.
He needs we
Calvin
need
Phillips got to
someone
step
that
up,
can
innit?
come
Son
in.
Calvin Phillips. Calvin Phillips got to step up. That's
Well,
for him.
that's the thing. That's what people are saying. They're saying Calvin Phillips actually, because the drop off from Rodri to Calvin. Like I like Calvin, but bloody hell, it's a drop off.
I like him.
Oh god! When you watch
When a
it,
fan
I
says that, it
remember.
tells you what you need to
Did you
know.
That's how
see?
you
Did you
know.
see last season where we were 3-0 up against Leicester, and then Rodri went off and we nearly drew 3-3? It was crazy. I'm like, how do you nearly bottle a 3-0 lead?
That's
It's a
it.
special breed
Crazy.
of
That
talent.
game was
Special
won
breed
at
of talent.
half time.
Nah, you
And
right.
then it was looking shaky for the last 10-15 minutes.
Nah,
And it's
110%.
only
Nah, you
because
right.
Iheanacho does not want to like sucker punch us. Why we even won that game in the first place?
Yeah, he did. He missed the super.
Madness.
Yeah, just he's a good lad. You know what I'm saying? You know the amount of times I've heard this about United players. Yeah, he's a good lad. You know what I'm saying? What's that got to do? What's that got to
Is
do
he
with man's
talking
opinion
about
on a
Calvin
football pitch?
Phillips?
Yeah, because he's mentioned in that, like in
Yeah, I
terms of
really like
Calvin Phillips.
Calvin
People like
Phillips.
him. Yeah, you
but
like him. He's a
bloody hell.
good lad. That's
See?
something that people use. Scott McTominay's a prime example of that. Great lad. You know what I'm saying? And that nice guy. All that type of stuff. What is he like on a football pitch? It's ain't a personality contest. What we doing large up Jez though each and every time as well. Warrior J. Actually, we're going to this. Hey, Warrior J, you're a real one. Understand Barcelona have reactivated contacts for João Cancelo deal with both Manchester City and his camp. Where you at with João Cancelo, Jan? Do you want him gone? Do you think he can turn it around and get back in the side? Thoughts?
Do you know what? I think Pep. I don't know. Obviously, what's happened. I know that apparently he was causing trouble. He wasn't happy that he wasn't playing all the time. Obviously, that's the first player I've seen Pep call out publicly. Doesn't normally do that, but the fact that he said everyone in the changing room will be happy for Ashley
remember
apart
that.
from one person, like that's mad from Pep. Like Pep never does that.
I remember that. That was
Yeah,
crazy.
and then he's gone to Bayern Munich, and he's still like, I don't know if you saw the Bayern Munich City game away, the away one.
Yeah, I watched, of course. Yeah, I watched. I was hating. Yeah, of course, I watched.
When Haaland missed it, he like was proper celebrating. I thought,
Say that again. You breaking up, Jan? Say that again. When Haaland missed what? Say that again.
can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah, go on.
When Haaland missed the penalty, João Cancelo like proper celebrated, and it's like the thing is, I understand, you're playing for Bayern Munich, you have to, you have to back your team. I'm not saying if you score, don't celebrate or anything like that, but I just think like things like that. Why are you celebrating so dramatically when your teammate, because he is still your teammate, you're still a Man City player, when he misses a penalty? Like, it's just things like that. I just thought it's a bit weird, like, and then, like, I don't know, you've got players who used to play for clubs that don't even celebrate against the team that they no longer play for. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you to be doing that, it's just, I'm pretty sure, like, some of our ex-players wouldn't celebrate if they scored against us. Do you know what I mean? But him, he would have celebrated, and he was still a City player. So
Yeah,
I think things like that is quite weird. Like I don't know the ins and outs, but I think Pep's, because I thought when he played in pre-season, I thought maybe he can redeem himself, but then Pep was like, no. But I think Pep let him go home or something like that. And yeah, I just think I don't see him coming back. But our team was so close last season. Like you can see the closeness between the squad. So if he's gonna mess that up, I don't want him there. Do you know what I mean? Like we've had in the past probably better teams on paper in terms of individual players. Like if you look at your David Silvers, you know what I mean, you Aguero and stuff like that. But if you actually look at this team, I think this is the best team we've ever had as a team. Yeah. Do you know, like in terms of their chemistry and how close they are and stuff like that? Like it's a proper close knit group. So it's like if anyone that's gonna sabotage that can go. As good as he is. Do you know what I mean?
So you're saying move him on pretty much. All right, that makes
yeah,
sense. Hey,
he will leave.
Warrior J, big up every time. And yes, Jez, couldn't agree more with this. Warrior J is the Fabrizio of Sarcasm City, 100%. Like when I see Warrior J drop a comment in the chat, I'm like, oh, that's certified. I don't even doubt it. That is 100% confirmed. Like it's Fabrizio tweeting it. When I see Warrior J pop up with some transfer news, I'm like, yeah, that's true. Without doubt, I don't say sauce or look at it in a funny way. And speaking of that, big up to Warrior J each time. Breaking Chelsea now working out payment structure with Brighton. Caicedo has messaged Chelsea players saying, "I will see you soon." That's from @the_secret_scout _ tears from Hassam months incoming. So it's from the @the_secret_scout. Take that with a pinch of salt because that's not, like, you know what I'm saying, 110% a reliable source. But Eddie, someone you've been extremely vocal about this whole. So let's go into this situation. Caicedo, he was Chelsea bound. Liverpool swooped in, and then it's all flipped on its head this morning in regards to now he wants Chelsea and he's rejected Liverpool. So your thoughts on the whole situation? We'll go with that.
Me or Jan?
Yeah, you fam. You. Yeah, you. I want to hear your thoughts on this. You fam.
Hey man, listen. I think, due to societal standards and everything going on today, like circuses don't really take shape like they used to. But hey, we got a clown show like Liverpool. Who needs a circus? Let's just roll down the list. First it was Shushimani. Then it was somebody before that? Was it Bellingham? Yeah,
Bellingham. Yeah, because was Bellingham after or before? I think Bellingham was around the same time as Chouameni. Someone in the chat will let us know, but it's close anyway in terms of timeline.
Caicedo. Then you got, shout out to Hussam, creating some kind of civil war within Liverpool's ranks. You got Klopp turning up at the little press conference like somebody stole his dog. Hey man, it's all bad, but I'm loving every minute of it, and I hope for more. Because again, I don't like you. I don't like any of y'all players, and more importantly, I don't wish for anything bad, but I just hope that you lose every time you step out on the pitch. That's it.
Agreed.
I hope that you lose out on all your transfer targets. So we get back to the days where y'all had to bring out people like, what's that brother's name? Skirtel?
You talk about Skill. Yeah. Skill.
Bring out and Lovren, and we have these Slippy G moments again. Like I need order to come back. I need it to come back to what it once was. I'm already dealing with Jan's team over there. The last thing I need to see is both of my rivals prospering. And this has been the case for about 4 to 5 years now. Both of them just being where they want to be, doing what they want to do. Like, I can't have it. So if one of y'all got to fall, I don't care who it is. Yeah, all right? So it just happens to be Liverpool this time. But, I want to be real. Like, business is cruel, And I think, Jan, you made a good point before we got on stream when you talked about how Lavia is going to be looking at all of this.
No.
Like, you dropped $105 million and are haggling over $5 million to Southampton. What that should show him is I don't think they really want you like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, I think
crazy. It's crazy.
it is.
Yeah, I think it's one of them things like obviously the whole transfer window, the whole drama with Lavia has been that Liverpool are saying we want to pay 45 and Southampton are saying we want 50. So it's not like Southampton are asking for 80 and they want to pay 45. It's only 5 million.
5 million.
So what a lot of Liverpool fans were saying is that we don't have enough money to sort of spend the 50 million. So for them to go in now for Caicedo and put in 110, it's a bit, if I was Lavia, I'd be thinking, what? Like that, like why not just buy me for 55? Do you know what I mean? Or for, for 50.
Yeah.
It's a bit, I don't know, like I think a lot of clubs nowadays always like try and make out like they have no money and then the next minute they'll go and buy some crazy, like buy someone for a crazy fee. And I just think if you need a player, just go and buy them. If you can't afford them, fair enough, get someone cheaper. Like there's other options, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it's like, I think when you're in a transfer, like, because now what essentially Liverpool have done is they've kind of turned Lavia off going to Liverpool. And also they've gone in for Caicedo, which is great. But Caicedo, and to be fair, I think on Caicedo's part, he needs to be a little bit careful because he tends to like burn bridges the way he does things. Like if I was him, I would keep quiet. But he comes out and says stuff. He did it with Arsenal where he wrote that goodbye message to Brighton and then he ended up staying. Like I think
did
remember when Caicedo posted that thing about how he's got loads of siblings and he needs money and he's going to go to Arsenal. Remember? And then he ended up staying. And I think he should probably just like not say anything until it's done. Because now, if, for example, because there's some like things about whether Chelsea can actually afford him because of their financial fair play, whatever, they have to sell a certain amount of players, and they've not made enough money yet. Basically, I don't think.
Well,
so they might not be able to afford him. So, say for example, now Chelsea have to drop out. If Chelsea drop out now, he's gonna then want Liverpool to buy him. So I think he should just be quiet and wait and see. Like, obviously you can have your preference, tell that to your agent. But at the same time, I just think all the stuff that's coming out, I'm a bit like, if I was Caicedo, I would leave it because he might well end up at Liverpool.
You need to be careful in regards.
Look, I understand people with the FFP thing, but let me put y'all in on a little secret, right? God B is an American. We just go pay somebody off. That's how somebody gonna get the brown bag, and we not gonna talk about FFP. We gonna see Caicedo with the blue jersey and all of that. That's really how it goes down. Like, because I mean, I'm with you though with regards to like, how are they getting away with this? How? Like they have legit
because FFP is money. FFP is not a thing. That's why.
Yeah, that too.
Because you know why? Because no one can tell you how FFP works. That's how you know it's not a thing.
It's a joke.
Nobody knows how FFP works.
No,
when you heard about us, like I remember with Manchester United, one, nobody cares, and two, like with Manchester United, remember when we could only spend 150 million because of FFP? Remember that, Eddie? Remember that conversation? And now look how much we spent, and we're still looking to spend more. Remember City with these 115 charges, and then they just go by Vardio. And Rice and everything.
When it comes to City, they're guilty.
Treble money, you shouldn't have let us win the treble.
Everything tied to their charges should absolutely go through. I think City should be scrapped.
Agreed.
Nothing's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, nothing's gonna happen.
Champions League. I think their stadium should be demolished, all because you can't tell where the money came from. So I think that's the appropriate thing to do. That's the appropriate. Demolish everything. Matter of fact. Let's go back to even 2012, 2013. Let's not even act like that ever happened, right? Let's just
Facts,
You all
but these, like I
good.
say, this is back to it with this FFP stuff. It's like, because no one can tell you how it works. That's how you know. And
Yeah.
teams just spend money. There's nobody
Yeah.
who's been stopped, to
Oh,
my
yeah,
knowledge,
it's
that
all
I
the
can
shit.
remember that has spent money, that has stopped going through it all because of FFP.
But
Nobody.
if
Everyone's
you
spending big
look
money.
at one of the worst spenders, it's not actually in the Prem. It's PSG. Like PSG spend ridiculous money time and time and time again, and one of their board members is on the board of Financial Fair Play. Like, how does that work? So the person that's making the decisions about who's breaching FFP is a member of PSG. So it just things like that just tell you it's a joke. That's why when I'm like FFP is a joke, people are like, you're just saying that because you're a City fan, blah 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 blah.
No,
But
it's a
from
joke.
when you've
You're
got
right.
board members from clubs on the panel who are making the decisions, I'm sorry, you can't take it seriously. Do you know what I mean? It can't be taken
You
seriously.
can't you only take it serious when City's involved because we know they're cheating. But other than that, I agree with you
With that.
100%. 100%.
Listen, if we cheat, we learn it from you guys. You were the masters of that shit in the 90s, man.
Hey, there's no
Alleged,
FFP in the 90s.
these are all
There's
allegations.
all allegations, man.
No
Allegations to that
charges
good
have
name,
been.
man. You know what I'm saying?
charges.
No charges. We was never arrested for anything.
No, yeah,
110%.
exactly. That's
We was
even
never
worse.
arrested. We was never arrested. This is
Never arrested.
never
Never
ever.
That's
arrested.
even worse. That
Look
just
at this,
shows you
look
got
at-
away with it.
Look, we didn't get away with nothing. But you know what? We'll go to this. Big up the young G Nero in the cut. Says big up Yannicka as well.
Hero.
Must be nice supporting City. What do you complain about? Foden not starting. Do you ever complain about City? Like, do you ever see a lineup and go, what the? Obviously, minus the Champions League final against Chelsea. But I'm saying more often than not. Do you ever see a lineup and think, what's going on?
I think it depends because, like, with Pep, I kind of trust Pep, but sometimes he does make decisions where you're a bit like, what are you doing? I think sometimes he goes a bit too weak. You know, like, there was a few games last season where he went, like, in the other competitions more so than the league. He started quite weak and then he'd try and bring people on. And I think it's better to start a strong team, go 2-0 up and then take people off than the other way around. So against like Southampton in the Carabao Cup, it's just like we didn't start strong enough, and then he brought people on. So the team that we finished with were a strong team, but it was too little, too late. We're already like 2-0 down. We played terribly. It was just one of them. I think if he'd have started his strongest 11, we probably would have won that game. So sometimes it's a bit like that, but you can't win everything, you know. So it's one of them. I think everything sort of happens for a reason in that respect. But yeah, after this team have just won a treble, what can I really complain about? I know Pep wants to win. Well, he said he wants to defend his titles, so we'll see how he goes about that. I do think it's nice that the Champions League sort of cloud that was hanging over our head is now gone, because that pressure to win it was just constant. It was like, if everything we did, like we win a game 5-0 where like you haven't won the Champions League, like just everything we did was Champions League, even if it wasn't that competition. So the fact that that's kind of gone now, you know, it'd be interesting to see how we play in the Champions League now when the pressure's not on. So that'll be interesting. The league, I think we always go for the league regardless. Like, that's always an aim, you know, every season. So we'll see. I'd love to 4 peaks. No one's done it before. But, I mean, we'll just have to see how the season goes, isn't it?
Yeah, we'll see how the season goes. Yeah, serious is not Teddy. And the thing is, it's like they're odds on. It's kind of like we move.
I would expect us to win it.
Hey, there's over 100 people now watching in the building. Big up to everyone who's locked in. Only at 46 likes though. Let's bump up the likes, man. Get us up to 70 likes, people. Like check 1212. Let's bump up the likes when you enter the city of Sarcasm. Pay the tax, people. It's free. Hit that like button. Continue to share across the socials and subscribe to the channel Sarcasm City TV as well. It is road to 8,000 subscribers. I'm just refreshing the screen to see how many we are on because we're closing in on 7,000. 7,600. So we're trying to get there expeditiously, people. We're at 7,595. Looking for 5 more subscribers, people. 5 more subscribers. Get us to 7,600. There's over 100 people in the building. I'm asking for 5 of you lot to subscribe. Mods, please get everybody liking and subscribing. Please continue to get your questions in. Just keep it Manchester United or Manchester City related. And of course, if you super chat, I'll get straight to your comment or question as well. But I will pick out the best questions. Don't worry about that, people. I wanted to get to something as well from big up Nero again, who says the Maguire deal's taking way too long. Well, the bid's been accepted. So all it's on is all personal terms. That's all it is, Nero. Manchester United can't do any more. It's just personal terms now. Go on.
Yeah. I saw something that's been bothering me. I wanted to
address it
it in the comments, because I think something about the United waiting for the women's world. Yeah, it's
Greenwood.
Buddy. Manchester United have delayed the decision on Mason's return because they want to consult their Women's World Cup players. They will not be announcing a decision before Monday's game against. What do you need to consult them about? Like,
I think we pretty much know their thoughts. I'm guessing we know their thoughts on it. You know what I'm saying? If I was a betting man, I could guess.
And this is where I get pissed off about things in this vein, whether it be the sexism or the racism. These kind of performative gestures that are supposed to tell the general public, "Oh, we actually care. We actually want to." Listen, y'all are going to do what y'all are going to do. Whether these women tell you how they feel or not, because you've had recently a women's fan trust come out with a post or something of the sort, talking about how they don't agree with what the direction looks like it's going in. Like, people, this is just us being honestly brain dead if we think that I'm just saying, it's like I it's not that I want to disrespect their decision, right? What I'm saying is,
you reckon the club are not going to take it into consideration? They've made up their mind.
No, do you know what I think the club are doing here? Like, I think it's really bad, actually. They're like passing the buck. Like, that decision should have been made already. The fact that they're putting it on women is really bad. Like, someone mentioned before on Twitter, like, they're just opening the ladies up for, like,
exactly what I was
now. Do you know what I mean? Like, because, like, if you're a Mason Greenwood fan and you think he should play, and then they say, "Oh, it's the decisions, on the women's team," and then all of a sudden he doesn't come back, automatically you assume, okay, the women are the reason why he's not back.
Exactly.
So that that sort of anger is going to be directed at the women's team. Whereas if Manchester United as a club came out and said, "Actually, no, we're not having him back," because the thing is, like, you can argue all you want for and against this case, but there was clear evidence there that we've all heard. Like, it's not open for debate, really. Like, to me, it's black and white. Like,
it's case,
very
Johnson.
clear.
Where did they
and the thing is, people that I know that know him were not surprised when that came out. So he is that sort of person. This is not a surprise. So the thing is, regardless of, like, whether you, like, think he should play or not, like, the club should be the ones that make that decision. Do you know what I mean? And they should stick by it. The thing is, with him, he's going to want to sue the club. He's going to want to do this, that, and the other, because technically he's not been charged and all that stuff. So it's one of them. It's a hard decision. Benjamin Mendy's currently suing my club for 11 million. But he can go and do what he's going to do, because at the end of the day, they were right to suspend him. Like, in that sort of situation, they had to suspend him. And he's lucky that we even played him after he got arrested. So it's like, it's one of them things, isn't it? But at the end of the day, like, the club passing it on to the women, I just don't think it's a good idea, because it just makes the decision on them, and any unhappiness with the result is going to be then targeted to them. I just don't understand why they've done that.
It's weak. It's weak. Simply put, it's
Yeah.
weak because again, you've had since the situation took shape to today to come up with a decision, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, we're gonna get the women's opinion on it, but it's like they came there to play football,
Yeah.
not kind of give you some type of compass morally as to where to take this.
Yeah, facts.
They pay you all that money as a board to do what?
To deal with these tough
Sit on your
decisions. That's what
hands
it is.
and yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Deal with the tough,
Actually deal with this kind of stuff. So, because I'm about to cut out here. I just wanted to make sure I
That's
addressed
cool.
that.
No, that's cool. Fam.
Because, like, again, people are going to talk about whether or not he should be playing, all that stuff. Personally, I'm so tired of those conversations, and we have, as a society, have to understand that, unfortunately, a significant segment of our population doesn't think respecting women should cross over into football for some weird reason.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe they again. I don't get that part. I just can't get that part of because this is blatant disrespect. Whether y'all want to admit it or not, to the
100%.
women who support the game of football, it's blatant disrespect. So
do you know what I think as well though? I think a lot of people like don't understand domestic violence because everyone that's kind of defending him, the comments that they're making is like, it doesn't make sense. So a lot of people are saying, she was trying to ruin his life, at the time, like, this is why it's come out. She's trying to ruin his life. She's this, that, and the other. And then they're now saying, oh, well, she's pregnant, so he can't have been that bad because if not, she wouldn't have a baby with him, which if you understand anything about domestic violence, that's not how it works.
That's not how it works.
Secondly, if anything, it works the way round because if your girlfriend accuses you of something that you haven't done to that extent, like, because it's very serious what she's accused him of, because it's not just domestic violence. She's accused him of attempted rape in the video as well, right? In the recording. If she's accused him of this and it's not true, which is what these people online that are defending him are saying, why would he have a baby with her? That's the question you need to be asking. Do you know what I mean? So these sorts of things, like, if you know anything about domestic violence, like, that emotional abuse comes way before they ever lay a hand on you. And the problem is the emotional abuse puts you in a place where you feel you cannot leave. There is no option to leave. So she will never leave him. Unfortunately, in them situations, it doesn't tend to end well. It either ends with one of them being killed. So either he kills her or she kills him. Or obviously in some situations, she will eventually get the strength and leave. But it's not one of them easy situations. And I think if you don't understand domestic violence, you're never really going to get it. Like, I had to, when this whole thing came out, I went in a space and I was like, had to just educate some people. Because, like, the thing is, for me, like, I don't really like to get involved in these situations, but, like, I literally have a degree in abuse, so I know what I'm talking about. So it's like, if it's like a medical thing and there was a doctor in there, I wouldn't come in and start telling the doctor about medical stuff because I don't know about medical stuff. But when it comes to that, like, I do know how that works. So, yeah, I feel sorry for her. I really think she's been failed by her dad badly in that situation.
Agreed.
And I think I do feel sorry for her. But it's one of them. She's going to have to be the one that leaves that relationship. And if she doesn't, unfortunately, now there's a child involved, she needs to be careful because, her child will get removed if he does it again. So it's just one of them things. I think the situation's a mess. If I was Man United, I would stay away from him and try and distance myself. But I feel like the club are trying all the PR stuff at the moment to try and ease him back in. And now they're going to use the women to kind of say, oh, well, it wasn't our decision. It was the women. I don't know, man. It's not a good situation.
it's a cop out, and because Flawless and I have spoke on it
Oh, we've had this
so many
conversation many a
times.
time. I'm just seeing some of the ignorant comments
But
in the
yeah, and
comment
we
section.
get the ignorant comments
Yeah,
as
we get the
well.
ignorant comment section and like ignorant comments
Oh yeah,
like
you always do.
before you go, yeah,
And
because
it
we've had
just
this
reinforces what
conversation.
we say,
Yeah, it's
like
like because before you go, like again,
your thing,
this
your
is
thing, your thing.
this is not something that I'm not open to hearing the other side. So just to clarity, because I know there's some new people here. Everyone knows my stance on this. And it's not something I'm not hearing the other side on this. This is
No,
not
there is no other
me.
side.
This is exactly.
No,
This is
no.
not me, Eddie and Jan here sat here talking about can Manchester United challenge. Is Ten Hag a good manager? Will Mount
Yeah.
be a good signing? Are City a weaker side? They're all footballing discussions. This is beyond this. Again, this is moral standards and morals compass. I'm not saying anybody's moral compass is wrong. I'm saying where my moral compass is, I seen and heard enough in terms of the evidence in this case. And I'll state this again, minus actual video evidence, so an actual video, or being physically in the room, how much more evidence do you need to go, yes, this man is guilty? That's all I'd say.
Clearly they need it to
People-
happen. They
yeah,
need
people
him
gotta
to
be
do
in-
it to them for them to realize.
Yeah, like that's what it
like,
is in
it's
that. And
madness.
another thing as well is people are getting mistaken in regards to is now people wanting back me 3099. And again, to you was it you who said why are we still talking about this? It's not our business. Yo, you can click the X button. Like if that was you or whoever said that, I get to that. Because we talk about these things on here. Because Eddie decided to bring it up. Cool, he's my co-host. He can do that. Where was I going with this? And yeah, just in regards to moral compass and where you're at with it. My moral compass, I don't tolerate or stand for that. Whether you're a Manchester United footballer, whether you're a family member of mine, couldn't care less. Like I said, mine is being in the room on actual video. I don't know how much more evidence you need for these type of things. And there's so many more things I could state on this. But yeah, it's just my moral compass. I'm not hearing the other side. This whole thing of, oh, she forgave him. Why shouldn't we? And people say things like that. Because my moral compass is also different from hers.
different,
Just because it happened to hers, it's like somebody doing something to me, and then I forgive them, but because me and Eddie are cool, Eddie's still having an issue with the person. That's fine. You know how many times that happens in families, people where a mum and dad won't their son or daughter's partner. That happens all the time. You know what I'm saying? And it's nothing bad. They just don't get on. You know what I'm saying? They don't like.
This is
You know,
my
all the time. Go on.
my final thing when it comes to this entire situation, when it comes to evidence, things of that sort. As somebody who, studies law and politics and all that stuff, I've come to the conclusion that for me to base my opinion on what has happened
Pardon me.
on a result that the justice system that I push back against is given, I can't do that. I can't. It just is. I can't. I can take the evidence when it's clear as day for myself. Understand that was his voice in the recordings. That's his girlfriend, and most of the violence happens to people who are close to you. That's it. I'm getting people. Y'all can think of me what y'all want, but it's not gonna change how I feel about the situation. And to be honest with you, I'd be totally good if I never had to speak about this Mason Greenwood situation.
And just to Amar as well, you said, but he's not guilty. Before you go, that's what I was gonna get to. But he's not guilty in the court of law. There was no trial. Like people need to stop all this. Two things.
This is another
before you
thing.
go, Jan. There was zero trial, and another thing. This whole thing about not being guilty.
Yeah.
Kelly got found not guilty. For those that don't know, initially.
Yeah.
And there was much more. Just go. All you have to do is do your Googles with R. Kelly. Not now. I'm talking about initially when it broke, like when all that scandalous stuff happened with him. So this whole thing of he got found not guilty. Just because you're not found not guilty in a court of law does not mean you are not guilty. Number one. Number two. There was no trial because she didn't want to. And a lot of the time, victims do that. But yeah, go on.
But this is the thing, like the police get called out for domestic violence situations all the time. And in 9 out of 10 of them situations, the victim will
stay.
Will
and you know how I know these people? Because I have a family member who is a police officer. That's how I know these things. I have a family member who is a police officer who talks about this type of stuff. That he'll get called out to a house or wherever where it's domestic abuse, and the woman won't press charges or won't.
Yeah, they never do. They don't.
I mean, or will
the
stay.
thing is, the thing is, what you need to realize, and this is the thing, like it's hard, like, to explain to people that have never been abused, because I just feel like it's one of them things. If you don't understand it, you will come out with stuff and just talk for the sake of talking. Like, it's one of them things, like, when it comes to abuse, emotional abuse is the most dangerous of the abuses, because anything physical, obviously it's worse on your, it's
Physical
sort of
self,
worse
your body.
trauma-wise.
Yeah.
But in terms of the emotional abuse is the most dangerous, because that is basically the hidden bit. So what happens is, like, for example, domestic violence, this is how it works. Just a brief overview so people can kind of understand it, because I'm seeing comments and I'm like, you just don't get it.
Yeah,
So
for
example, they start off always the perfect boyfriend. Is always really great, brilliant, does everything for you, really good guy. So you get something because you think, wow, this guy's amazing. Then what happens? He starts saying, oh, like, so say for example, you've got a like close group of friends, right? And you fall out with the friends. A normal boyfriend, someone that's actually a supportive boyfriend, would be like, right, okay, you fell out with your best friend. You guys need to make up. This has been your friend for 10 years. You need to work it out, because, she's been there for you, X, Y, Z. An abusive person will do the opposite. They'll start saying, well, do you really need her in your life? Look how toxic she was. Oh, she did this. Remember when she did that? They try and isolate you from the people you're close to. Abusive people love people who have issues with their parents. They don't get on with their parents. That's great for them, because they then have more control over you as a person, right? So they try and isolate you from the people that care about you and that you care about. So what ends up happening is you rely more and more and more on them. So then, for example, a year in, if they hit you one day, obviously you're taken by surprise because it's the first time it's happened. You're like, oh my God, they hit me. You're shocked. At that point, you're like, oh my God, I'm going to leave this relationship. Then what happens is the manipulation kicks in, where they'll come back, oh my God, I'll never do that again. I love you so much. Treat you like a princess for 3 months or however long they need to get to reel you back in, basically. And then they might do it again. And that's like how it works. It's all about isolating people so they feel, and a lot of the time it's things like they might pay your rent. They might do all this sort of stuff. A lot of people, once they've had kids, they threaten to take the kids, and all this kind of stuff happens. And it's like, for people saying, oh, why doesn't she just leave? If she leaves tomorrow, he will threaten to take that kid and she will never see that kid again. So she's not going to leave her kid in that situation. She won't. So she'll end up staying. My auntie was in an abusive relationship for my whole childhood. She left when I was an adult. The whole time it was abusive. Like, he, to be fair, was a lot more emotional than physical. He used to hit the kids, not her. But yeah, it got really, really bad, to the point where she actually used to drink to like deal with it. And then he called the police and got her arrested when she left the house because she was driving. That sort of thing, like,
yeah, that's
it's madness. It's madness. So she
is.
left, but the only reason why she got out is because she had 2 adult sons who he wouldn't have been able to kind of continue with that.
Yeah,
do you know?
I get
But
you.
it took her a good 20 years to get out. So
so
that Harriet girl who's only young, like, it's not one of them things that you get out of very quickly. I hope for her sake she does get out, but it's probably
sort it out. And I just want to get to this from Young T, who says MG was not guilty. The cops didn't want to go ahead with the charges. That's incorrect.
That's not what happened.
Because no, forget that's not even what happened. This is why this is a teachable moment, because we run bants and jokes on there and talk football, but this is just plain incorrect, because police don't decide whether to press charges or not in any case.
Yeah,
Right.
It's not on the police.
Not
if me and
the police.
Eddie have an issue,
called a solicitor.
Yeah. If me and Eddie have an issue about anything, and I choose to press charges against him, even if the police think I'm dead in the wrong, they have to go ahead with it. They have no bearing. Police don't look at cases and go, "Well, we're going to press charges here, and we're not going to press charges here." It
Yeah,
don't
the
work
police
like
don't
that.
know
So
that
let's
stuff.
stop saying it. They're only there to implement that if is indeed the case.
Yeah.
So this is just completely wrong, and this is why I had to address this. But yeah, big up to everyone is locked in. As a big up to everyone who is locked in as well. Big up to you, Young T, for the super chat. Who says who the Liverpool go for if Lavia and Caicedo fail?
Jesus. They ain't got nobody else. I mean, what was it? Turam, I think his name was.
Yeah, but
Maybe
he was
him?
linked with Catherine Churam initially. Yeah. But then we've been linked with Catherine Churam as well. So maybe him. Maybe they try Amrabat. Maybe they go and make.
Didn't he go somewhere though?
Nah, Catherine
Turam.
Churam's still there to my knowledge, right?
He's
Is he
still
not
there. He's still there.
to my knowledge.
Oh,
He
To
was
my
there.
knowledge, he's still there. Right?
I
Yeah.
thought he went to Villa or
We would have heard if he would have moved.
someone.
No. Yeah, I
Well,
think
yeah,
Amrabat's already agreed to personal terms with
Personal
us.
terms, but we need to make that bid because that happened with Kim
Yeah.
and Jay, where we agreed
Yeah.
personal terms and then just never put up the money.
Do you know what?
for
Like
whatever
this
reason.
transfer window, I've just been hearing the most about stuff. I thought Caicedo was done because when I came online today, I was like at the
fucking
beach, so I
flying.
couldn't really see like my screen that well. So I saw that Caicedo had been like hijacked by Liverpool. So I'm seeing all these Liverpool fans celebrating like Caicedo. So I just assumed it was a done deal. And then when I came back on, it's like, oh, actually, he's changed his mind. And I was like, what is going on?
And
I
then you're
seen
thinking
her-
about to cut you off. Sorry to cut you off. You're thinking
Yeah,
about
no.
Thuram's brother. His brother moved. It wasn't Catherine. It was his brother.
Oh, okay, fair
think it was
enough.
Marcus
I
Thuram.
thought
Yeah.
I'd seen like him move somewhere, so that's why I was like, he's gone. I don't know with Liverpool though because they have to get someone in. I don't think they have a DM, do they? So they have to get someone in, but the problem is now they've just told everyone they've got 110 million. So
Yeah, that is the problem.
that's
the
the
problem.
bad thing.
Right.
And the thing is nowadays with the transfer fees, if you've got a DM who's young and he's good, you're not going to want to sell him for less than like what Lavia is going for.
100%.
So it's quite hard now because everyone is 50 million.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know who they actually do go for. If Lavia and Caicedo fail, but yeah, whoever it is, that price is going to be
don't
bumped
know.
up if they do go
Yeah.
try to get Amrabat. I could see them potentially going in for Amrabat. Maybe go back to Kefren Turam, who they was linked to as well. Maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
That is definitely a possibility. Big up for the
Yeah.
super chat though, Young T. Yeah, go on, Eddie. Go on.
I just think it's a tough ask for them to find the type of midfielder that they would need. But you know what's crazy? Honestly, Amrabat would be the fit but I don't know if he's a 6 like that, right? Because what they lack after all this transition that they've been through is experience.
True.
A lot of their older players are gone. A lot of the people who were the leaders in the locker room were gone. So you're gonna rely on Harvey Elliott and fucking
Jones.
Nunez and Jones to give you that. Like they haven't been in the wars like that.
Big up Timo in the chat talking rubbish as well. You know what I'm saying, but we move.
Big up Timo.
Yeah,
Actually, no, I didn't. I thought I read it wrong. Sorry, my bad, Timo. I like that. United get Amrabat, Liverpool get Gallagher. I apologize. Yeah, that's a good move. Yeah. Gallagher to
There you
Liverpool.
go. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like
100%.
that.
Hey, was it Timo that was saying that he wouldn't? Was he saying that he did want Patch or he didn't want Patch?
No, he was
I
against
can't
Poch.
remember.
And then he
He
did
was
that
saying
he did the
I
shameless
don't remember
U-turn.
that.
Yeah,
What
he
What
did
is
that
it?
shameless
What
U-turn.
Frauditino?
Yeah.
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 Who was he
Fraud
saying
the
he'd
teacher?
rather have over Patch?
Yeah, something
All
like
I
that.
remember is that
Was it
stream
Lampard?
when he was
Lampard?
saying,
I think it was Lampard.
yeah, oh my
And
God.
we've seen how that turned out. You know what I'm saying?
My man was
Lampard
10
still not got a
toes
job,
down
right?
with the Chelsea agenda. 10 toes
Yeah.
with it, man.
Yeah, he was. Him and Lewis, disgusting U-turns, man. I've never seen 181s like it. What even 180s? That was 181. That man did the extra. Threw the extra spice on the turn. These man were playing on PSG's downfall in the Champions League when he weren't even playing Chelsea. It's the crazy part.
It
Yeah,
made no sense.
and yeah, Ed, I do agree with that in regards to because you said Eddie. To be fair, they still have Van Dijk, Alisson, Salah, and Robbo when it comes to seniority and leadership. Because that's the thing is,
Yeah, it'd be Salah that's like
I
the
don't
main
think
guy.
if Liverpool were like an experienced DM away from going to win the league, then I'd understand it. I think they're looking at Europa League and domestic cups, and I think Alavio or a Kefren Turam or Amrabat in there allows them to do that. Now, if they were trying to chase down Manchester City and it was legit going head to head for the Premier League, that could be key, 100%. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying? That's what it is.
no, I'll type it in the. I'll type it in
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah,
group
yeah, yeah. Man,
chat.
are getting banned. Don't worry about it, fam.
I'll
You know what
say
I'm saying?
less.
Like,
Somebody
yeah, yeah,
made
yeah.
somebody
Man
made a
getting
good
banned.
point
Talking rubbish
before
can ban.
there
Go on.
because someone was saying like Liverpool's midfield. You know when they said they basically got Caicedo, right? And they were saying Caicedo, McAllister, and I can't say the other guy beginning with an S.
Boysola or something like that.
Yeah, however you say that, right? So they're saying
Yeah.
that, but then somebody was saying it's the best midfield in the league or whatever, right? Or one of the best. But then someone was saying, does that mean that if Brighton had assigned the guy with the S, would they have had one of the best midfields? No, they wouldn't have. So it's crazy how like it works when they're at Liverpool all of a sudden they'd be the best, but at Brighton if they'd have signed that one guy, they wouldn't have been. Do you know what I mean? Like
it's because obviously at that point with Caicedo
Yeah,
last season, McAllister, etc., they weren't what they are now. Now after that season,
Oh, yeah.
they've just had we look at Caicedo and McAllister different. It's a quality midfield, like and McAllister
Yeah,
and
it is, yeah.
Caicedo Shabazz on paper, cold. Same way we're looking at Chelsea and go, yeah, it's cold. Like I'm disappointed that Manchester United are missing out on these midfielders. When you look at Caicedo and Alavio, they give you what Mount gives you plus extra. What are we talking about?
Yeah, I like Caicedo.
Yeah, you on
I
one
like
sec.
I like Camavinga as well, to be fair.
Oh, Camavinga are
Yeah,
bomb. 100%.
Camavinga and Caicedo remind me of each other due to their versatility.
Camavinga was so good when we played Real Madrid in that first leg. He was so good.
He's interesting, but I don't know if it's bad when you don't get to hold up one position down because then they just kind of put you all over the place and they're like, then they say he's a jack of all trades but a master of none, but it's not his fault because you've just been playing him all types of positions. Like I don't know. I think I realistically like, do you go get Paulinho? Like, because to the point that the brother was bringing up with the other people, yes, they've been there, but the question is, have they been the voice that a Milner or a Henderson is? Because you think of a Milner or a Henderson, you think of Milner's been the constant pro and example for the young players to look up to. And then you think about Henderson. Henderson has just been the ace.
Yeah, he's been
leader.
he's been captain. Yeah.
Salah strikes me as the type of guy who's just there to play football. Same thing with Van Dijk. Alisson, maybe, but I feel like there's a bit of it's always a bit different coming from your goalkeeper. But I would say if there was anybody I could bank my money on, if they take that next step, it might actually be Alisson. So yeah, it's dark ages, it's dark days, man. Dark days for the Liverpool squad. I don't know how y'all figure it out, and I hope you don't.
A big up to Timo for the super chat. Says, glad I didn't pick KDB in the FPL. How long's he out? Not sure. There's been no reports yet from what I've seen, and I love how much you care that you super chatted to get the answer to this question. But unsure, Timo. They've not said anything, but big up for the super chat. Large up to him, who says, Yan City, thoughts on where United can finish. In my opinion, we finish easy second at least. Just want to see what other fans think. Wow. I said easy second. Hey, you more confident than me? Floor's yours. Shout out to him.
I actually don't know because I originally thought that Liverpool might finish second. You know, when they were looking like they were gonna get a full, like I didn't know who was gonna leave, and it looked like they were gonna get a DM and stuff like that. I'm not so sure now. Like I do think they will be better than they were last season. I do see Liverpool definitely getting top 4. Chelsea are an interesting one. I do think they'll get 4th or 5th. I don't think Chelsea are going to finish any lower than that. So it's just kind of where I don't know about United finishing second. I still feel like at the moment Arsenal still look good, but I actually really do not know. Apart from Man City probably finishing first, everyone else.
I said probably, you know.
It's yeah, no, because it's not guaranteed, is it? Like
It's
as
as close. I don't know what the word is underneath guaranteed, but it's not. What's like?
Probable.
All right, so
Probable.
let's break it down then. If you don't win the league, who's winning the league?
Oh God knows. Fuck
Exactly.
knows.
That's my point.
You know what though? This is the thing though. Like I think between the rest of the teams, I don't think it's going to be as. I don't think there's going to be like a massive gap between second, third, and fourth.
I agree with that.
I think it can literally be a point between the three. Usually you get two that go on a title race and then there's a gap. So that might happen again. Whether that's Arsenal, whether that's United, whether that's Liverpool, I don't know. But I think there will be. It's kind of like the best of the rest, as someone said once. I do think it could kind of go. Like I wouldn't put any money on positioning. Do you know what I mean? Because it could be you second, but then it could also be Liverpool second. It could also be Arsenal second. So I'd have to see how the season goes first.
That's fair.
And see how everyone does. I mean,
fair.
everyone's got stronger. Everyone's team's got better. So it's just how that's implemented. Because sometimes you buy players and like they don't quite push on as much as you'd think, and then other times you buy a player who you don't think is going to be that great, and they turn out to be absolutely amazing. So we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yes.
Really.
And big up him because he's confident. He said, "Man, I'm sleeping on United. We are ready to run teams down this season." Fire emoji.
Like
he finished third with all the mess last season. I hope you're right, Hem. I don't see it. Big up to LFC for the double because for those that don't know, make sure you just go watch the previous Man Them United to this, the solo one I did on Thursday, where we had Denton in the chat and he was talking about how Manchester United can do this, that, and the third. That we're gonna win the league, and then LFC for the double asked him, all right, so how many goals are we scoring? Because that's what I always ask about is the goals and the creativity. And he said our front six, and I quote, it made me laugh, is getting 156 combined GNA. You know what I'm saying? So that's Rashford, Sancho, Anthony, Garnacho, Bruno, Mount. So yeah, it's that six. Yeah, that's six. Yeah, he said 156 goals and assists between those six in the Premier League. I howled. And I was like, see what I have to deal with, fans, because he was in the chat. So for those that don't know, and Eddie and I explained to Jan as well, he was just going off in the chat talking about Mount, talking about other things. And I was just going to ignore him and just let him keep talking in it. And then LFC for the double. And he was like, yo, we're going to cook, put some more respect on our attack. And then LFC for the double asked man and said, all right, what's your definition of cook? So I said, what, yeah? LFC, that's his name, LFC for the double. So then I said, and then I went, you know what? Let's put him in the hot seat then and let's go there. Because this happens at Sarcasm City TV. Big up to Chicago because he said it, man's in the hot seat now. So he was like, all right, put all the numbers in terms of what each attacker is going to get in terms of goals and assists. So I added it up, we pulled out the calculator, added up the goals and assists, and it was 156 between those six players. So I was like, all right, cool. And I howled. You know what I'm saying? 156 GNA. You know what I'm saying? Everyone was getting minimum 10 assists. You know what I'm saying? I think Anthony was like 15 and 10. Sancho was 15 and 10. Garnacho was like 10 and 10. I think Rashford was like 23 goals, 6 assists. You know what I'm saying? Bruno was like 20 goals, 15 assists. Mount was like 10 goals. Hey, this one is 150. Hey, Eddie, 156 GNA between the six of them. So I was like, imagine what the rest of the team would score if you added their goals and assists. And that's Premier League only.
I can't.
We don't win everything.
I like our chances of finishing second, but it's only because of our defense.
Yeah, 100%.
But I'm looking at that attack, and it's like, from what you showed me in the past, there's absolutely no way I can come out here and stand in all 10 and say, like, 150 across the park. without the help
No,
of some
not across the
hallucinogens.
park. It's
something
those
that's
six,
not
fam.
a-
Don't do that. It's not. It wasn't across the park. It was those six by themselves. It was 156 GNA. Those six by them, not the team. You know what I'm saying? Not the team. No. It was 156 by those six by themselves. Not all competitions in the Premier League. Shout out the chat who was there. There's people in the chat. I was
That's
howling.
like
I was crying
20,
tears.
25 goal
Yeah.
assists between the six of them.
Yeah,
A
I was
piece,
howling.
25 pretty much going assists.
Yeah, 25 goals and assists. I was howling. I had tears rolling down my face. You know what I'm
We
saying?
were
I
at
couldn't believe it was
58,
him.
right? We were at 58,
We
right?
scored 58 goals, yeah, last season.
People.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you score 50, if you score something like 50, and like every assist is from a different player, which is unlikely. I mean, yeah, like then that's technically 100 and whatever because every assist. Well, not every goal has an assist, but like say for example, out of them 53 goals, 50 of them do have an assist. Then that would be 103. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I'll say.
So it, like,
never disrespect the progress of a baby step.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all talking about 150. We at 58. Can we get to 65?
Facts? Hey, Eddie, you know what the crazy part is? I wouldn't even even though I think we'll get like 65 league goals this season, I wouldn't put money on it. I'm not confident.
No, not that. I'm not that either. I'm not that.
I wouldn't.
Let me at least enjoy 160. Yeah. Like, let me not 160. 165. Like,
yeah. Outside of Rashford and Højlund, I don't put money on any of our attackers getting double figures in goals. I won't put money on it.
No.
So I was like, can you put money on a Anthony, a Sancho? I throw Garnacho in the mix as well, even though he's young. A Bruno getting double figures, and I was like, nah.
Bruno,
I wouldn't put money on it. All right, he didn't last season, and he was on penalties.
I got a cut, unfortunately, because I was having too much fun. But I'll say
it's cool.
On Monday, it'll be a 2-0 affair to United.
Who you playing?
Wolves at home.
Wolves.
Oh yeah.
So, my 11 would probably be.
Go on, yeah. What's your
low? I'm driving the agenda this season, people. For a certain segment of our fan base. At left back, I'll start Delo.
Okay.
At one center back, I'm starting Martinez and Varane. At right back, I'm starting Wan-Bissaka. Okay. Luke Shaw gets no shine, people. Yo, you world class merchants, go hold that shit somewhere else. Not on Sarcasm. And then I'll go Casemiro, Bruno, Donnie. This is my starting 11, and then I'll go. You saw it wasn't in there. You know, we in agreement on that one too, Fall.
Yeah, 100%.
Then Rashford off the left, Sancho through the middle, Anthony up top. But if they start fucking around, put Garnacho on the left, Rashford through the middle, and Sancho or Anthony. One of them can go. Who cares? Yeah, man. But yeah, it was good being on another stream with you. Don't be a stranger. You already know. Always appreciated, bro.
Love family, man. You already know what it is.
We don't watch alongs tomorrow or not?
Yeah. Watch along. I'm doing the early kick. I'm doing Arsenal Forest. There may be a 3 p.m. kickoff as well. Oh yeah, that's way too early. Yeah. Don't worry about that. There may be a 3 p.m. kickoff. I think Peter and the gang are holding it down. But then Sunday you'll get the 2 p.m. kickoff. I'll be doing Chelsea Liverpool though on 4:30 p.m. UK time. So yeah, I'll send you the link, man. You already know what time it is.
Hey, all y'all in the chat, love y'all, man. Y'all keep hitting the like. What the likes at? Y'all lucky I ain't
75.
Get to 100 before it's over.
Yes.
Get to 100 before it's over. So yeah, man. I always appreciate y'all. Y'all stay up until next time, man. All right.
You already know. Love Eddie every single time, man. Shout out Eddie, man. Big up Eddie every single time. And yes, you lot bump up the likes as well, people. Bump up the likes. What are we doing? Let's get up to 100 likes. We're at 75. Continue to get your questions in as well. Just keep a Manchester United or Manchester City related as well. And hit the subscribe button. We have hit 7,600. So salute to you lot. Now let's hit 7,605 because there's still over 95 of you lot in the building. And let's bump that up. Let's get over 100 in here before we close out in the next 10 to 15 minutes or so. But yeah, in regards to Manchester United, it's kind of like we just don't score enough goals. And yeah, Jan, back to that when you were was like, yeah, Bruno didn't get 10 Premier League goals last season.
Well,
Exactly. And he was on penalties.
I
I think he got 5, 6 open player goals. I don't think people realize how bad, because we had a good season and our defense was so good, and because of how much of the mud we was like previously, people don't realize there's still levels to go. Big up to Warrior J. I should have got to this as well while Eddie was here, but big up says United scout present at the Nice Lille game. Yeah, Jez mentioned this on the watch along. Jean-Claire Todibo is also to watch Jean-Claire Todibo. We're also monitoring Catherine Charam. That's from at GFFN on Twitter. Thoughts on this, Flawless and Eddie? I'm all for it. Jean-Claire, get him in. Catherine Charam, know enough about his profile, get him in. Get both of them. We need them both. We need another centre-back. We need another central midfielder as well. They improved the team. So, yes, I'm fully with this. I'm glad that our scouts are actually out there, but just get the deal done. It shouldn't cost too much to get either of them, to be honest, because the prices I've seen quoted are not that big. So just do the deal. Warrior J says, Jan, how many players do you think Manchester City would get before the window closes? Yeah, who else do you think you'll sign? And who else would you like to sign, adding on to that question?
I think the only ones that we've been linked with at the moment are Paqueta and Doku. So it depends. I think we'll try and get them too. But knowing City, if like West Ham are still holding out, then I think we'll just walk away from it. I don't see them like throwing everything at it. Do you know what I mean? I think we've bid something like 70 something million and they want 110. I don't see City paying 110. So we might not get him. Doku, I expect us more likely to get because he's a bit cheaper, I think. So, yeah, we'll just have to see. I don't know. Like, with City, a lot of our business is kind of done. Like, there are obviously, like, Gavardio where there's a load of noise, but a lot of the time it's they kind of come out of nowhere a little bit. So, yeah, we'll just have to see what happens. But I think we're, like, pretty much like, unless, because it's weird because we've got rid of all our wingers, really, like our natural wingers, like everyone that was a natural wingers left, because we have Mahrez and he's gone now. So yeah, we don't really have, I don't know if Pep's just going to continue playing how he sort of is, or whether he's going to go and get like a natural winger, because I know he wanted Elise, who is more like that, but yeah, Doku's like a fast.
Yeah, he'll do very well. He's direct, he's quick.
Yeah,
I could see him doing
like,
a Sterling role in terms of getting a lot. Not as many goals, but getting into goal scoring opposition. Actually, tell a lie. Sane, I could see him being like that.
Yeah.
Quick, direct.
So I would quite like someone like that because we've lost that with Sterling and Mahrez and everyone leaving. So yeah, it'd be nice. I would quite like him, but until I see him holding up a shirt, like, it's not happening. This transfer window, like, I do not understand people that get dead excited and start saying, hold that and all this. Yeah. Like, when they're not even signed yet, it just makes you look so stupid.
Facts. Big on my guy Jacob as well, United Spurs of America. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. Says, who do you think is United's main goal scoring threat? Rashford, or do you see Ten Hag being fluid in his tactics? I think Ten Hag will be fluid in his tactics and he'll be looking for more goals and assists from everybody. But Rashford's definitely the main goal scoring threat. No one, like, he's the only one I can convincingly say is going to get X. Like, I can confidently say, yeah, he's getting 15 Premier League goals. Everyone else, I wouldn't put money on it. I'm saying, I think Højlund, like I said, will do well. The rest of them, no. I can't guarantee all these players are getting double figures. I can't sit here and say I think Anthony's. Why this not? Why you laugh? This is serious stuff. I'm saying this is serious. Fuck you, innit? This is serious stuff.
Fuck
like,
you too, Rich.
You know what I'm saying? I forgot what these shows are like, man. See what you lot put me through. I was fine not doing the United City show because I can't even take shots. Like, but we move.
I know, it's so great.
But yeah, like, I can't guarantee where Anthony or Sancho or Garnacho is, Bruno or Mount are getting double figures. I can't. And people say, why can't we challenge? Because I don't think and even outside of goal scoring, I keep talking about creativity. All right, we'll throw Bruno in the mix. Cool. Rashford creates to an extent. All right, we can throw Højlund in the mix. That's 3. Where's our creativity coming from in terms of our attacking players, the midfield players, and fullbacks? We don't care. People used Liverpool and was like, well, their midfield when they had Fabinho, Henderson, and Wijnaldum wasn't the most creative. But yes, they had fullbacks who got like
Yeah,
25 assists
Trent
apiece.
was like their
Trent and
most
Robertson
creative
both got
player.
25.
Yeah.
So if we starting fullbacks who can get us 25 between them assists in the Premier League, I'm all for it. Our fullbacks don't do that. And then they had Mo Salah, who's going to get crazy goals and a crazy amount of
Yeah.
assists. Then you're going to get Mane, who also scores and creates. And you're going to get Firmino, even though he scores to a lesser extent, still creates as well. Where is these players
Yeah.
coming from? That's right. And we've seen them win one league. But it's like, that's where I'm coming from with it. But yeah, I think Rashford will still be the main threat. Big up to Matthew, my guy. Says, what do you think of the rumour that Villa are looking at Sancho? Are you still in the same boat? If a good offer comes in, then sell. Yeah, I didn't. When did. This is news to me, Matthew. Where did you hear Villa looking at Sancho? But yes, I'm still in the same boat. They offered 50, 60 million for him right now. I'd take it. I would take it and go and use that to go and sign another striker. Even though Sancho as a false nine is the only success I see him having here, and I think he'll start in the weekend, and that's right. Yeah, going forward, I don't think he's the answer. So with that being said, I would, yeah, good offer, 100%. If they said, here's 50, 60 M's, cool. Sorry if y'all spoke about it, but what happened with Pep and Haaland? They played the audio, but I couldn't hear. They were talking about something, but I don't know what it was. And then Pep pushed the camera
Yeah.
away. But I think Pep was.
I
I think
think
that.
Pep
Go on.
said something after the game, I think. His problem was, I think Haaland kept asking for the ball. And he was saying that, like, they're not always in the right position to give him the ball. So, like, I think there was a situation where he's like, no, he shouldn't have passed it you, he should have kept it. Something like that. And then he pushed the camera. But I don't know if that's exactly what he was saying at that time or whether that was about something else. But I know he was basically complaining that Haaland keeps asking for the ball all the time. Because obviously, if you're not in the best position, then it turns into a counter attack the other way. Do you know what I mean? So you need to make sure. I feel like a lot of the time our players will make the wrong decision. Like when it's Foden, for example, when it's time for him to shoot, he passes, and then when it's time for him to pass, he shoots. And yeah, that happens a lot. So yeah, that frustrates Pep.
First, so there you go then, Jacob. Yana, are there any players you've sold from your academy that you wish you kept, with the obvious one being Lavia?
Yeah, do you know what? I was a massive, massive Lavia fan. Like, I don't really watch the youth team, but I really liked Lavia. But the problem with us is that Rodri is just too good and he's too young. Like, if we just had Fernandinho, we would have kept Lavia. But Rodri was. I think Rodri, when Fernandinho left a few years ago, I think he was only like 24, 25. I think he's 27 now. So he's quite young. So there's no way Lavia would have had to come in, play minutes here, minutes there. Like, Lavia for me is too good to be on the bench every week waiting for 10 minutes at the end. Do you know what I mean? It's not. It's a shame, but he's too good to be on the bench. So yeah, obviously I like that Carlos Borges as well. He's just left to Ajax. But again, he's not gonna really play. So some of them get in, like Rico Lewis and Foden and Cole Palmer that someone's mentioned in the comments. Like, a few of them get in, but it's competitive. It's hard work because the consistency of our team, like, you need to maintain it. Because even like Rico Lewis has done really well since he's come in. Yes. But there are some games where it's a bit like he's struggling a bit. Do you know what I mean? And it kind of, you can tell he's a youth player. But to be fair to him, 9 times out of 10, he does look like he's been there for years. So he's doing well. He's doing well.
And Paul says, Jan, says, Jan, do you think Cole Palmer will see more game time this season? He seems to have huge potential.
Pep actually really likes Cole Palmer. So he does bring him on quite a lot. I don't know, like, half of the City fan base are like, he's great, and then the other half are like, he's not good enough. So, I don't know, like, I thought McAtee's made it into the first team now. I thought he might be more what Pep wants because he's a bit like a Pep player. Do you know what I mean?
When
But
you say pep player, what do you mean, like from a technical aspect?
he's like the way he plays is like David Silva. He's that sort of player.
With the balance
So
and the agility.
like that, yeah. So I would expect like Pep loves them sort of players. But he's not really played that much. So I don't know. It's a long season. We play a lot of games, so we'll just have to see. But it's quite a hard academy to break through into the first team.
That's fair. We'll go to this from Warrior J. Final few questions, people, because we are closing out in 5. And let me know if Ahmed's still live as well, because if he is, I'll rate him. The Bridge 258. Make sure you go subscribe to his channel. Score prediction for United Wolves.
Whoever said that I love Kane, I do not like Harry Kane at all.
Yeah, they just running bants because they know you don't. Score prediction for United Wolves, Brentford Spurs, and Chelsea Liverpool. United Wolves, I think we win 2-0. Brentford Spurs. I don't know how Spurs look. And then you got Brentford without Ivan Toney. I'll go 1-1. I'll go 1-1 with Brentford Spurs. Chelsea Liverpool. And Liverpool win 2-1.
Interesting,
what you say?
Yeah.
United Wolves.
I think United win at home. I'm not sure what the score will be.
Brentford Spurs?
Brentford Spurs. I think Spurs will win, but it's probably going to be close, like a 1-0 or something. And Chelsea Liverpool, I think Liverpool win. But it'll probably be close again, like 2-1. I don't think any of the scores are going to be like 5-0 or anything like that.
And Matthew says there's a rumour that Palmer's going on loan to West Ham. Do you know if that's true, Jan?
So West Ham are admirers of him, and City probably would sell him if a decent fee came in.
Sell him or put him out on loan, you mean?
Well, yeah, like either loan him out or they might sell him with a buyback. That's what we tend to do. We don't really loan out any players, City. It tends to be, unless they're like in the academy still. So they might loan him or they might sell him with a buyback. I'm not sure, but he could go. There's still, I think with City, will probably try and use him in this Paqueta deal to try and get it over the line. Because the thing is, West Ham need players. So it's like, to them, yeah, money's great, but they will also probably want a player just because of the time left in the window. And they did want Carlos Borges, but obviously he's gone to Ajax now. So they were supposed to get a City player and they didn't end up. I don't know what's happening with West Ham. They just seem to be like window shopping.
Well, because they got the money for Rice, so they did. They signed World Price. They've been linked to Gallagher, been linked to McTominay as well, which someone did ask me about as well, and I did see it. So Edu said, "Flawless, did you see Damesh on Sky Sports said Scotty's staying? Yeah, that's on us. How stupid! And this was about biggest issue.
But hasn't Maguire gone there?
Accepted the bid. No, Maguire. We've accepted the bid. They just need to agree personal terms with it. Accepted the bid. But yeah, with Scott McTominay, this is why when people are like, "Oh, get more money for him." Now, if he's still here when the window closes, that's on us. That's our stupid ass fault. Like, he's not good enough. 30 million is very, very good money for Scott McTominay. You move him on. Like, what are we talking about here? Like, 60 M's for him and Maguire is brilliant business. And then you go inside another central midfielder, whether that's Amrabat, Kefren Thuram, or somebody else. Not good enough. I don't get this whole thing trying to get good money for average players. And even though that's great money, people just want, I think, out of this world money. That's out of this world money because he's not worth 30 million. He's not. Not had a good season in however many years and we're getting 30 M's from him. Like, what are we talking about? Hopefully he does move on or somebody else comes in for him now because he was linked to Everton as well. He is a short match player if I've ever seen one. Go on.
I think so many players now, because no one is actually going for the value they're worth. Like, it's rare. Like, I think Haaland's, because it was a release clause, he was obviously worth more than what we bought him for. And I actually think Kovacic for 22 is not bad. But there's so you get like bargains here and there, but then a lot of the players nowadays are not going for what they're worth. So what's happening is other clubs are seeing a player that they don't rate as highly as their player, because obviously they're going to rate their players higher. They're seeing them go for like 40 million, and then they're saying, well, we want 40 million for our player.
Yeah.
And that's like,
And it's not
I
how
think
how it works. That's you're spot on, but that's not how
no,
football works. But you are
no,
spot
I
on.
know, but that's what the clubs are doing. So it's just all it's not really the club actually, it's the agents because the agents want more money. So they're trying to like Caicedo's clearly it's all about how much money. Like if City came in for 120, he'd join City, even though he's been saying he wants to live in London and blah blah blah. If we went in at 120, he would come. You know what I mean?
It's all about changing that 100%. But yeah, with McTominay, hopefully he does get moved on. We got linked to Onana, obviously the central midfielder. I just offered him like 20 million and McTominay and go get Onana from what's it called? From Everton. The only other reason I think McTominay will stay is the homegrown rule. It's like, yo, just bring through another homegrown player or something. Or even if we go and sign, there's no one that I can think of. But I'm sure there's a quality player out there who fits the homegrown quota because you don't have to be English. So, but I hear your point on that. But we are going to close out, people. We will raid Ahmed. Big up to him. He's still live at the bridge 258 as well. We're at 83 likes. Make sure you bump up the likes, please, people. Continue to support in the manner in which you have. It's good to have this show back as well. You have been asking for it, so I pay attention. So the Manchester United, Manchester City show, Man Them United podcast, Them City podcast is back. It won't be on a regular basis though, because Jan be busy with work and things of that nature. But we'll just try and bring you the show when we can. It will be Fridays, but just keep a lookout on that upcoming live stream schedule. Don't forget though as well, this show and all the other shows on the channel are available on audio only platforms, people. SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, wherever you listen to podcasts, type in Sarcasm City TV. And this show, all the other shows on the channel here on the YouTube, all the other shows on the Twitch, apart from fan calling shows, pro clubs and watch-alongs, are available on there. So SoundCloud, please hit us with a follow on there. Spotify, make sure you hit us with a follow on there, and 5-stars as well. You've not been listening, so shout out to all the Android users who are on Spotify, iTunes as well. Make sure you 5-stars, write as a review if you're listening on iTunes or Apple Podcast. Big up to all the audio listeners as well. Big up to Matthew, who says big up both, great show, great insight on different subjects from Jan. Big up to you, Matthew H, every time as well. See the people.
Do you know what? I don't even really like getting into them topics, but I just feel like
I think he's talking about that and just the footballing thing.
Yeah,
just different perspectives.
Yeah. It's just like trying to understand it, innit? Because like, do you know what I mean? It's one of them, innit?
No, I hear that. And people, I'm dropping the audio links in the chat as well, the SoundCloud, Spotify, and iTunes. The links are always underneath in the description anyway. And big up to Neville B. You said big up Mr. and Mrs. Sarcasm City and Eddie as well. Big up to Neville B, man. Good to see you in the chat. And yeah, this is the original gang. You know what I'm saying? This is one of the original. This is taking it way back to like the original.
I know it went downhill since I left, innit?
Yeah. I know. All these subscribers and all these views. I know, man. It's gone nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anything you want to add, you joker?
It'd be much better if I was still here.
Yeah. Anything you want to add? Well, you're here now, you joke, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, just talking rubbish. You won't have to bother with people. Anything you want to add, you clown.
Big up to the comments, innit? I know you've missed me. I've missed you too. Do you know what I mean? That's the comments, not you prick. But yeah, we'll be back again soon, yeah?
Yeah, there we go, people. Back again soon. What we got coming up today? Of course, watch along. Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. That will start at midday UK time. That's over on the Sarcasm City TV Twitch. So make sure you follow the Twitch, download the app, sign up for free, and then you watch and comment on Twitch like you do here on YouTube. And then what else we got coming up? Q&A. It'll be 1 a.m. Q&A has been moved to Saturday night, 1 a.m. Then Sunday, stack day, starting with Brentford versus Tottenham. That will start, I think it's a 2 p.m. kickoff, so that'll start 1:30 p.m. Then following that, the big game of the weekend, Chelsea versus Liverpool. We'll be bringing you that watch along. And then following that, the new show over on the Twitch, Talk Your Ish, which is the match reaction fan calling show, has started. So you'll get that probably like 7:30. You know what I'm saying? 7:30 p.m., 8 p.m. over on the Twitch. So feel free to call into that. And then we're live midnight on Sunday to end the weekend, with what is going to be a packed show, the Manchester United Chelsea Spurs show, Man Them United, Ballers at the Bridge talking at Tottenham talking all things Spurs with their game against Brentford and Harry Kane leaving, and then Chelsea. And who knows what's going to break. Not only are we going to be talking about Chelsea versus Liverpool, talking about the Caicedo deal and the Lavia deal, and we have, you know what I'm saying, over 24 hours to go up until that point. So who knows what can happen today. I'd love to everyone that's locked in. It's good to have this show back as well. And this has been the Man Them United podcast meets the Galdem City podcast live on the Sarcasm City TV YouTube. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Peace.